Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be talking about how even when things don't go as you expect them to go, it's essential for us to not let those experiences get soured up so that we can still walk away with the valuable lessons. And let me just say that, man, I totally expected for this episode today to be completely different. Like, I expected for me to be here celebrating a fucking personal win, a personal best completion time from this past weekend's Ironman 70.3. And unfortunately, though, man, I ran into issues. And because of those fucking issues, I ended up having to drop out of the race only a couple minutes after it fucking started. Shit was killing me, man. Fucking shitty situation without a doubt. Fucking for real. Especially when, man, like I put so much effort, so much grit, so much determination. Like, I had all this training and preparation that went into fucking preparing me to get to this level. And, man, it just, sometimes things don't work out your way, man. And when that happens, it's more critical than ever for you to be able to analyze the situation so you could see that even though things didn't work out the way you wanted it to, you have leveled up in ways that you didn't even see coming. Because a lot of the time you weren't even going to notice that you're leveling up in the ways that you end up leveling up by doing the fucking work. And yes, look, of course, I fucking trained for a triathlon. Of course that I'm in shape. Fucking no doubt. I actually trained for this race for almost 6 months, and out of all of the other Ironman 70.3s that I've done, which is 4, this one would have been 5, but since I dropped out, I'm not counting it. This race is the one that I had prepared for the most. And no fucking joke when I say this. Because of this race, I got and I am in the best shape of my life. No doubt. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I'm walking away with, I'm fucking stronger at 38 than I was at 28 or even 18. I have more endurance, I have more fucking stamina, and I keep breaking barriers that I thought once I would never even stand a chance coming close to, right? But what I didn't expect was for all this extra clarity, for all this extra calmness, for all this extra focus that all this fitness has brought into my life. I did not think that my confidence would have risen so much just by doing the fucking hard work. Like, no doubt, I fucking study personal development all the time. And I know that when you do the fucking work and when you show up for yourself and you do that consistently, your shit just fucking starts rising. You starts elevating. You start feeling better. But maybe it's just because I'm on this fucking 1,000 day development journey and I'm like 200 plus days deep. Maybe it's for the 6 months that I've trained. Maybe it's the build up of the other 4 Ironman 70.3 races that have built me up to what would have been the 5th. Man, I don't know what it is, but I'm fucking feeling on fire. And even though I had to drop out, man, it wasn't like any other time that normally like I get all in my feelings and I'm like all pissed. I'm like, fuck, oh, this shit, cursing. And no, this time I was just like calm, collective. I was more bummed out than anything, but I was feeling so on fire just to even get to the race that I was like, yo, it is what it is. Man, I had no idea that my self-worth would be amplified so fucking much by this fucking journey that I took on, right? All because I proved to my mind that I am capable of showing up consistently for myself, even during all the fucking times when I didn't want to. And trust me when I say that there were so many times when I didn't fucking want to show up. But yeah, I did it, right? They say the warrior is built through the journey, not in the battle. And after experiencing what I did this past weekend, man, I couldn't agree more with that statement. The journey built me. The journey got me ready, one workout at a time. Even when I thought that, man, there was a lot of days when I was like, bro, I was fucking tired. I don't know if I did good in that workout. I don't know if I showed up the best. Even when on the days that I didn't think I was showing up, it was through the perseverance of showing up, even when I didn't want to, that built the man that I am today. Sure, I fucking had to drop out of the race. It is what it is. But the race within myself, the one that is the most important, that one was won that day. No doubt about it. Like leading up to the race, it was no walk into the park either. So don't get me wrong. There was a lot of shit that built me up to that moment. But even though I fucking dropped out, I won the internal race. I won the internal battle. I'm fucking feeling on fire. I'm feeling on another level. I'm feeling like, yo, it's so crazy because I walked out of there that day and, you know, I had to set a goal to accomplish certain things. And I already fucking set the standard so much higher that I'm like, yo, back then I wouldn't even think that I'd set those goals. And now I fucking set these crazy ass goals. Like, right? Like out of all the races that I've done, like this race actually was one of the ones that I had most issues to overcome. And you would think that this one being my fifth one in, I would have had everything locked and loaded and on point. But man, you just keep learning new things every time. You just keep fucking adapting, right? And this time, this race, it threw the most curveballs at me, right? Down to the very moments leading up to the fucking race. Like challenge after challenge was presented in my life. And I did what I had to do. I did my best to overcome each challenge as they came my way, right? And I'm not going to go over all of them, but challenges from like, man, simple, silly thing from, which is pretty fucking important, almost not being able to purchase my ticket because I fucking slipped my mind and I waited until the last fucking moment, to almost not getting my new triathlon suit in time because I was going to wear another one and then I realized that one wasn't going to work and then I ordered another one and I was like, oh fuck, she's just coming in the day before we got to leave, to freaking having both of our cars breaking down and having to find an alternative vehicle the day that we were supposed to leave town. Fucking nuts. These were all trials and tribulations that my wife and I had to overcome just to be able to get to Daytona. And I include my wife in that because she's my fucking ride or die. She's my supportive partner. And she fucking, man, I lean on her for support just how she leans on me for support. And I wouldn't be able to make it to Daytona without her having my back like she has, right? And the crazy part was that my wife's SRT broke down only a couple of days prior to leaving. Like that shit had developed a nasty oil leak all over the driveway, and I was like, yo, babe, gotta check this out. So I put it up on a jack stand. I had kind of seen what it was, and I was like, yo, you gotta take it to the dealer. We have extended warranty. So typically I fix all my own shit, but that's the wifey's car. I want things to be on point. So we have extended warranty on that. So went to the dealer. Dropped it off, got taken her some things, and then they had called her that it was ready to pick up, so she went to go pick it up. And it's crazy, while they were fucking washing it, another issue came up. A fucking heater hose exploded, and then now she couldn't drive the car home. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And long story short, she ended up calling me from the dealer, right? And she got to tell me about the situation, which is like, fuck, wow, that's fucking shitty. I guess we're not going to be able to take the SRT because since it developed a new issue while we were there. It's like, fuck, all right. And so right like I was like processing. I was like, all right, straight, I'm gonna go pick you up. Just give me about an hour or so. It's about an hour and 15 just to get there, and I'm wrapping up some things. Wrapping up whatever, go outside, turn on my truck, I get in the Silverado, put the key in, I cycle the key, and I noticed something weird. I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't hear the fuel pump turn on. Go ahead and start it. Starts right away, and then shuts off. Guess I had a little bit of fuel in the line and whatever. And it doesn't want to turn back on. It doesn't want to go up and turn on. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? My wife just called me that her car's broken and now she needed me to go pick her up. And I'm here thinking that I'm going to take my truck now to Daytona because we don't have no other car. And now my fucking car breaks the minute that my wife tells me that hers is not going to be available to go on the trip. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, man, and I knew my fuel pump wasn't turning on. I could hear that it wasn't turning on, and the truck wasn't doing. I looked at my fuel pressure gauge, no fucking fuel pressure, and I was like, "Yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Like, what are the odds of this happening right now? Like, when I'm already like making plans to make this our backup car to be able to make it to Daytona, because aside from the fuel pump issue, that truck would fucking make it to Canada and back even if I wanted to, right? Fucking built it to be where it's at, right?" and both trucks breaking on the same day. Fuck, bro. Like, just hurdle after hurdle. I'm telling you. Luckily, though, man, I was familiar with the fuel pump issues because they had happened already a couple months back. And what I did is I was able to hot wire my second fuel pump because the truck has two fuel pumps to make that kind of power. Normally, it rides around on one fuel pump, and then when you turn up the boost, the other one comes in. And so what I did is I bypassed the first one, I hooked up the second one, and I got the truck running, and I had to pick up my wife. And I called her. I left my house. She's like, "Oh, you just left?" And I was like, "You will never believe what just fucking happened." Fucking filled her on the story. She's like, "No fucking way," you know. But now that meant that now the truck that we were gonna go drive to Daytona because my wife's SRT wasn't ready. Now, because the issue with the second pump, it happened, you know, and yes, it's driving. I could go pick up my wife, and I was actually on the way to pick her up when I was going through all this thought process. But now, if I take that truck up, could it make it there and back as long as the fuel pump doesn't go out, you know? But if it did go out in the middle of the trip, or in Daytona, or on the fucking race day, imagine it goes out that morning and I can't even make it to the fucking race. I'll be left stranded. Not only that, but then I have to get my truck all the way from Daytona to Miami, and that's a fucking expensive toll. But yo, I'm not even down to deal with this fucking mission. So we're like, all right, we gotta rent a truck, we gotta rent an SUV, and we started looking around. And it was that same day. Like, this was all happening like the morning of the day that we had to leave because they told us that the truck was gonna be ready and all this stuff. It didn't work out. And then my mom flashed into my head, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I can borrow my mom's car. Called my mom. She was like, look, of course, you got it. I do need it, but I'll figure some things out. I want you to make the race. And so went, picked up my wife from work, went to pick up my mom's car, came home, started loading things up, and fucking head out that same day, right? Head out to Daytona. And when we got there, let me tell you, I'm from Miami. It's typically not cold here. And in Daytona, it shouldn't be that cold either. But this past fucking weekend, it was fucking cold as fuck. A lot colder than it usually is on race day conditions, let me tell you. And not thinking anything of it, I just fucking prepared like normal. I was like, fuck, it's fucking cold, man. It's going to be a cold ass swim. But I just started preparing, started getting my things in line and all this stuff. And and this time, let me tell you that I felt more fucking ready than ever. I truly did. I was fucking confident. I felt ready. I felt physically ready, mentally ready, spiritually ready. I was like, yo, I'm gonna fucking kill this shit. I'm gonna get my goal. I'm gonna make it happen. And this time, instead of fucking driving, because I usually drive Saturday morning, early morning, we get to Daytona, check in at the Speedway, go check in on an Airbnb, do our thing, and go to sleep. But the problem is that when I do that routine, I end up going to sleep really late. By the time you got to wake up early for the race, I end up fucking sleeping like 4 or 5 hours because just how things work out. And that, I wanted to eliminate that. So this time, we ended up driving up Friday after work, right? And so we arrived to Daytona late Friday night, which was all right, kind of late, but still allowed me to rest on Saturday. So I was able to sleep in Saturday. Saturday, we fucking planned our meals way better than all the last times. This time, my wife, she cooked for me instead of us going out to eat at some fucking restaurants that they have around the area, which we're just pretty much playing Russian roulette with whether the food I'm going to be eating is good or not. And last time, I felt like I was loading up on carbs, but it fucking fucked me up. It really dehydrated me, so I took care of that too, you know. And then now not having to drive up to Daytona on Saturday from Miami allowed me to really get to bed super early too, which was a fucking bonus. Bro, I almost got like 8 hours of sleep this time around compared to like the normal 4 or 5 hours that I've gotten on older race days. And I noticed a difference that next morning when I woke up too, man. Huge fucking difference in rest, huge difference in clarity, huge difference in my confidence and being able to fucking attack this race. And then I was able to fucking get up way earlier too this time around because I was fucking going to sleep way earlier. I was up by like 3:30 a.m. so I could still knock out my fucking morning routine. I wanted to make sure that I did my bathroom. I wanted to make sure I meditated. I wanted to make sure I prayed. I wanted to make sure that I got some reading in. And I still had sufficient time to prepare everything else that I had to get ready. I even had to get a tattoo, a temporary tattoo from the race numbers. My wife normally puts that on that morning, which typically we would put it on the day before at night, so we wouldn't be rushed in the morning. But then what happens is when you sleep, it gets rubbed off. This time, man, we had everything on lock. We had everything set. And we're going to fucking kill it. That was the plan, And also waking up earlier allowed me to eat earlier so that when the race start comes around, I wasn't as full either. And I felt so much fucking better, right? Like, what happens is, so we load up and I put the bike in the car that morning. It was like 5 a.m. And I know, I was like, damn, it's fucking cold, bro. Whatever. I was like, yo, It is what it is. I just kept on removing my focus from how cold the swim was going to be to how good the bike ride was going to be and how even better the run was going to be because of the temperature drop and because I wasn't going to be running in fucking hot ass weather, right? So it makes it fucking for. I just kept focusing on that. Fuck the swim. It's going to be cold. You're going to battle it out. You got this. You do ice plunges. You know what the fuck it is. And then going to fucking have a gangster bike and you're going to have an even more fucking all out run because it's not going to be hot. Right? It's not gonna be that hot, right? And so we light it up, we load it up, get to the speedway, unload the bike, and we're fucking walking towards the transition area. When I noticed over this loudspeaker, they're like, "Oh, unfortunately, due to the weather conditions, the swim is canceled." And I was like, "No way, bro! No fucking way! I couldn't believe it." Right? Out of the 4 other races that I have already participated in, I hadn't experienced one where they would have canceled one of the disciplines. But in this one, they fucking did, right? The water was like in the low 50s and the air was in the high 40s. And so both combined, that's how they take them into account when they calculate, the acceptable temperature for race day. And it just wasn't. They said it was 3 degrees under what the allowable uh, rules made the event to be. And so they ended up canceling the swim. And when I heard that, I was like, fuck, that shit just threw me off mentally. Like it really did. Like it threw me off because I let it get to me. Like I was prepared. I was focused that morning. I was doing everything. And I let it get to me because, man, the swim was where I was feeling the fucking strongest this time around. And now we weren't doing it. And I was like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I said again, like, couldn't believe it. Every time they'd fucking go over this loudspeaker to say that they had canceled the swim, I was like, yo, how the fuck is this happening? Like, I was like, hey, it is what it is, like, whatever. I guess it is what it is. Gotta just focus on what I have. Gotta do the best we can. And, I came here to walk away with a race day completion time of less than 4 hours mark. Less than 5 hour mark. Oh, that's fucking 4 hour mark came out gangster. Maybe eventually I'll be able to get to the 4 hour mark. But right now we're working on the 5 hour mark. And now because they canceled the fucking swim, now I'm not gonna be able to make that 5 hour mark. Like, like that shit just stayed in my head. It just playing over. I was like, bro, I've been fucking working my ass off for 6 months, trained for this race to fucking get this personal goal within the 5 hour mark. And now get to the race and I fucking can't even get it, And it's crazy because I wasn't even the only one saying that because I was like listening to a lot of guys around and a lot of the guys were fucking, I overheard them talking and they were feeling the same way as I was, right? They're like, bro, what the fuck? You see, like, because a triathlon is comprised of 3 disciplines. You have the swim, you have the cycling, and you have the running. And removing the swim makes it a duathlon, not a triathlon, which is, we signed up for a triathlon. We didn't sign up for a duathlon, And so many of us, we were fucking pissed, But we couldn't say no. Like, what we're going to do? Oh, no, we're going to force a swim. You just can't. Those are the rules of the event. That's how it was. If it was up to me, I would have still fucking swam in that water, Like, I knew we would have done good. We all had wetsuits. We fucking battled it out. We're fucking training to be Ironman here. So how the fuck are you going to cancel the swim? But that's what the rules were, right? And it wasn't up to us, right? So they asked us to really just to line up, in twos so that we could start the cycling portion as if we were transitioning from the water, even though we weren't, right? And I was like, fuck, bro, this kind of fucks shit up. This is not what I planned. And like, but it goes to teach you, life is never how you fucking planned it. So you got to be fucking ready, right? If you're not ready, it's going to catch you with your pants down. That's exactly what happened to me, right? So it came to the start of the race and we started lining up 2 and 2, 2, 2, 2. And so it's now my time to fucking go ahead and start. And I click my right foot into the pedal because you have special shoes that click into the pedals. Click my right foot in, pam, and I move up to the start. And they're like, all right, you go next. Good luck. All right, go ahead. And I push off. I click my left foot into the bike and I start pedaling. And I was like, all right, fuck this shit. It is what it is. I'm going to get myself ready. I'm going to fucking kill this cycling. If not swim, can't do the swim. So now I'm going to fucking just go as hard as I can on the cycling and just fuck this shit up, right? I knew that I wasn't going to get the 5 hour completion time, but in my mind, I was like, man, you know what? I've been training hard as fuck, feel the strongest I've ever been, and all this stuff. At least what I can do is I could get an individual time, within the cycling, within the running, where I could prove that I would have got that completion time if I would have been able to do the swim. So I was like, fuck it. At least I know that I would have still gotten the time if I give it all I got. So I'm going to give it all I got, right? Well, yeah, right. said the bicycle that I was on, right? Literally, within the first 100 feet, I had noticed that I had issues with the fucking gear shift mechanism on the bicycle. Like, it wouldn't shift. Like, man, and I eventually got it to fucking to the softest setting to try to figure things out. And then I couldn't get it out of that gear. I was so frustrated. I had to pull over and I have to pull over to see what's going on. Like, at the beginning I was like, oh, I was trying to figure it out, I was like, no, I don't want to pull over, I don't want to lose time. And then I just couldn't figure it out, so I fucking pulled over. Bam, nothing. Trying to figure it out, nothing. Messing around with the gear mechanism, nothing. Fuck, I'm killing too much time. I jumped back on the bike and I started going. And a couple of hundred feet, I noticed, I was like, bro, this is not going to work. I was like, oh, fuck it, I got to do the race like this. So I kept going. A couple of 100 feet, I was like, yo, I'm not making no progress. Everyone had already passed me of how slow I was going. And so I got off, one more time. And I started messing with the bike. I started looking at the mechanism. I started seeing if I could fix things, if I could force things, if I could put it in the stronger gear. But I couldn't. It was stuck in the lightest gear. And I couldn't pass 12 miles an hour. I really couldn't. And 12 miles an hour is not acceptable. Like, it really isn't, right? So I fucking pulled over. I ended up pulling over like 3 times before I made the call. Pulled over again. I tried to fix this thing. It wouldn't work. My hands were all greasy by then. And I was like, I was frustrated. I was like, I'm killing too much time. I tried to jump back on the bike, fucking messing with the gear mechanism. I remember even I punched it and I was like, what the fuck? And it just wouldn't allow me to shift. I tried to go another couple distance and it wouldn't allow me to shift, right? And just was fucking so pissed off at that moment, And the more I pedaled, the more I realized this wasn't going to work. I was fucking trying to pedal hard. And at this pace, like, I did the quick math. I couldn't pass 12 miles an hour. And that's me pedaling so fast that I was jumping in my seat from how fast my feet were spinning. It probably took me an easily extra hour and a half from the time that I was shooting for only the cycling portion. And it would have derailed everything. It wouldn't have worked. And that's when I was like, yo, God, I hear you, man. You've been giving me signs all this along, and I've been trying to have perseverance. I've been trying to push through. I've been trying to show you that I'm ready. And unfortunately, this is not my race. I'm going to make the call. I didn't want to make the call, but I had to make the call. Right? I had prepared myself so much for this event, but that just wasn't my day. It wasn't my day, right? With the swim being canceled and then the bike issues, I was like, yo, that is what it is. I gotta take this one in the chin. I gotta take the L. I'm gonna come back fucking stronger. I'm gonna come back with my own fucking bike. I'm tired of borrowing bikes. I'm gonna fucking do it my way. And I dropped out of the race, right? And it's the last thing that I wanted to do. It really was. But it was what I had to do at that moment. Like, man, I remember like leaving the stadium. I was fucking bummed out like a motherfucker, which was crazy. And I repeated this earlier. It's like, I wasn't even pissed by then. I was like bummed out. I was like, bro, I can't believe I fucking slipped up with this. Can't believe I slipped up. And then it hit me. I may have not been able to finish this fucking race, but look where all this training has brought me. Like, I started looking around. And man, I got compliments by everybody. Yo, you're looking good. You're looking swole. And I was not only was I looking, but I was feeling on fire. And then I started just analyzing my situation. I started analyzing where I am. I started analyzing where I've come from. And I was like, yo, I'm in the fucking best shape of my life. I'm in better shape physically, mentally, spiritually, and everything, in every aspect that I've ever been right now. Right? The preparation for this race built me up into who I am right now. It helped me level up into who the fucking man that I am right now and what I believe I can now achieve way further than I used to think I could. Sure, I couldn't finish the race, but the man that I'm walking away is so much more capable than you once fucking thought. And that day, leaving the race, when I was starting to feel bummed out and I fucking switched my perspective around and I realized on everything that was going on, I fucking raised the standard for myself. I raised the standard of what I will allow. I raised the standard of what I will achieve, right? As we drove away from the speedway, I committed to a completion time of 5 hours and 30 minutes for the following year, which is crazy because for this race that I couldn't finish, it is what it is, but the goal was just to break into the 5s. Now subtracting another 30 minutes from that completion time is what I'm gonna fucking do. No matter what, I'm gonna fucking continue training. I'm not gonna level off. Like, yeah, just because the race kind of, it is what it is. I'm gonna continue training. I'm gonna keep getting faster. I'm gonna keep getting stronger. If I feel now that I'm in the best shape of my life, imagine how I'm gonna feel another fucking year from this, and then another year, right? Imagine by the time I get to 1,000 days, by then it's gonna be like clockwork, and I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm a fucking Ironman, and I'm unstoppable, and I'm do whatever the fuck I want. This is what we're building. This is what we're working towards, right? When I pull that shit off, I will be more than 2 hours difference in completion times from the first Ironman 70.3 race that I ever completed. More than 2 hour difference when I complete that 5 hour and 30 goal. Fucking nuts. And if that's not real progress, then I don't know what is. All the preparation that went into the race has built me into the fucking man that I am today. The journey built me. The fact that I couldn't race was just another speed bump along the way. This time next year, bro, I can't fucking wait to see how much stronger and how much fucking faster I'll be. So my message for you today, in sharing with my experience, is for you to realize that when life decides that it's time to punch you in the fucking face, you need to take it like a fucking man and be willing to ask yourself, what did I learn from all this? How have I leveled up? How have I grown? How much more evolved and am I right now than I was back then? And if you truly been putting in the fucking work, then you most definitely won't be disappointed with the results, with the answer to those questions, right? And if you are, then that obviously is going to put some things in front of you to where you need to start addressing. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Get to fucking work. Do this shit. Keep pushing. Keep striving. And always stay grateful for how far you fucking come. Iron Man in the fucking making, baby. Let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. Join me on this journey while we empower people to do more and to be more. If you haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, if you resonated today's message, if you've gone through some challenges recently that you just know that you need to extract the lesson from them, and you know, if you just want to help out the community, ask you for a favor and go ahead and share this on your story. Make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more gearheads to see and to hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.